Uh, um, Etiquette to Olympics secured. Tell me briefly, just how challenging that moment was after they won.
It was extremely challenging. Knowing the kind of athlete that we have, knowing how the athletes were poised to perform very well, knowing how the terrain was, and that incident happened. No, I couldn't sit in the stadium. I couldn't look at the athletes because all of them were down. All of them were they felt the pressure from Ghana. We were also feeling the pressure. We could just imagine what was going back at home. That pressure alone was enough to have caused us a huge. We couldn't even sleep. We couldn't even eat. But it was after an hour or two that we have to talk to the boys. That no, don't worry about that. We still have another chance. And when the receding came out, no. This receding there, we were given a good lane, and there were no serious threats to our standards. If you look at the rankings, we were ranked higher than all of them. So we knew that definitely we were going to make it. And we made it a point to go back to practice. Maybe people didn't realize that we have to go back to practice again. So we went back to the stadium in the afternoon, or late afternoon, to do series of practice before the competition itself. You could see how serious the team was. Because we have, that was the only option that we have to make it. There was no point that Ghana would not have qualified. Because sitting with the other African countries, sitting Nigeria qualifying, Liberia, 4x4, Nigeria, mixed relay Nigeria. So it was difficult, but the guys came out strongly, and they even ran faster than what they did in African games. Faster.
Season's best. Was that drop of baton more of a blessing in disguise?
I don't want to say what blessing this guy, because if we had completed the race, I know we would have qualified to finals.
Yeah.
And with this time, and with the disqualification of Italy,
Yeah.
Ghana would have picked the bronze medal. Because when you rank the times, as we speak, Ghana is the fourth best time.
Yeah.
And with the disqualification, Ghana could have gotten a bronze medal. And with a huge prize money attached. So the disqualification made us to double our efforts. Just within an hour, we were able to regroup, we were able to have a discussion. Look, we had a call from Christian Sian, we had a call from Eric Cancer. We have to do a press conference.
Really?
I'm on a technical team.
Wow.
It was that serious. Everybody was concerned. So there was a conference that took more than 2 hours for us just to discuss what is the best way to come out of this issue. And through that, the team was maintained, and the guys were spoken to, and they came out. They came out stronger. I mean, that was one thing that I do appreciate the athletes.
And just a quick one. This is like the fourth time Ghana has dropped the baton, and it's in like 6 major competitions or something like that. So, Bawa, it's quite a problem. How do we overcome that?
It's quite a problem. It's not a problem. It's like in football, no one wants an own goal. Sometimes a team score an own goal. No one wants to cause a penalty, but sometimes it do happens. In the 4x100 context, that is one of the biggest challenges that every athlete or every team faces. And our challenge is even more daunting than others because we've never had constant 4 athletes running the 4x100s. Major events. Even when you, for example, the African Games were a different team from African Games. We went to Pence, it was a different team. From Pence to Bahamas, just 1 week, we had another different team. We have in African Games, we have Gadayi, Azamati, Fuseini, Solomon, and Joe Paul. Yeah. That's 4. But we went to Pence. We had 2 people came to join. We didn't. Azar was not there. Solomon was not there. So we need to do with Fuseini and Joseph Polamwa. But Joseph Polamwa, no, and Benjamin Age. Age and Joseph Menu. Age has a school obligations to go attend, and Joe Menu couldn't go to Pence. So we have to get another two fresh athletes who were not part of the African Games, neither were they part of the Pence, to join the team to go to Bahamas. And if you look at since 2009, we started building this team. It is the only constant athlete who was there is Joe Paul. The next person who is constant also is Azamati. Johnson French. But for the last 4 events that we ran, Sean didn't run. And Sean was our starter. And Joe Paul is still the anchor. But in between, we always have different athletes coming in. It is neither the fault of the athletes nor the fault of the federation. So the athletes have school responsibilities. And the 4x100 is the fastest 4 athletes we take who are available. So that's just the calculation. If we can have 6 athletes who have been running consistently with the 4x100, those challenges can be reduced. But in 4x100 quartet, you cannot say 100% that there will not be lane violation, there will not be baton drop. Italy was third, but they were disqualified. US, even this 4x400, was also disqualified in the first heat. So they have to come back to a second option before they were able to qualify for the 4x4. Not even 4x100, 4x4.
It's an interesting thing, but the ticket to the Olympics have been secured. How or what must be done for us to be ready for this major global competition?
When I came and I greeted Minister of Youth and Sports, that was the first thing he asked me. How do we get this athlete prepared for the Olympics? That is the question that the athletes are also demanding. So by Monday, we already presented our documents to the ministry. We call it the goal chase, right from the preparation up to the Olympic Games. But we have to amend it again and add campaign and competitions. So we want to bring the athletes, the 4x100, to Ghana to do the Ecowas championships. They have to also go to the African Championship. We have to get at least 3 or 4 competitions for them, high-profile competition for them before the Olympics. The more they practice, the better they become, the faster they will become, the nervousness will reduce. So the only way we can get the Olympic medal, or for them to run sub-38, is for us to give them more competitions, to give them more campaign. So after school, after second week in May, they will be out of school and they will be out of competition. That is where it is critical that the state of Ghana have to bring these boys together, give them more competition. The only way we can secure the Olympic final and possibly get to Olympic medal in Paris is for us to give the athletes more competition, to camp them, to support them financially, so that they don't have to work. Some of them work and they train. They don't have to work. Even in US, some of them, when they are on vacation, getting a place to train is a difficult because the school is closed. When the school closed, they close down every facility. To go and train, then you have to go and pay to go and train. These are some of the challenges that our athletes faces. And for us, if we are able to bridge that gap between second week or first week or last week in May to the time we go to the Olympics, that is always a vacuum for our foreign-based athletes, those who are in the US. We have to move them to Europe, camp them in Europe for at least the whole July. In summertime in Europe, there are a lot of competitions. A lot of competition here. So if we camp them from first week in July to the time we want to Olympic Games, we can give them 3 or 4 competitions to run. That will make a lot of difference. But if you leave them as we normally do, they don't have enough competition in the US, they don't have enough places to train, they also have to go and work and survive. So they don't have 100% training opportunities. That's why when they come to international competition, they don't perform as they were performing before the opportunity. Their performance always dip. And it's not their problem. It is the problem of the state. And that financial model too is more than what the federation can support. It's just like asking football, excuse me, to the GF as an example, that go and prepare your national team for World Cup. GFA alone cannot do that. It's always government comes in to support them. It's the same thing that the national team also requires. We are not requesting the same financial support, no, but it will be unreasonable. But we also need considerable support for these athletes.
Final two questions. You talked about bringing the athletes down for the Ecowas Championship. Just how important would that competition be for Ghana as we hosted? I know we've hosted it before. We hosted a junior championship in Cape Coast. I was there with you for that event. But this is a big one, actually, a massive one. Just how important is it for Ghana to host that?
It's very, very important for Ghana to host, especially coming out of the African Games. The expectations of Ghana organizing the perfect competition is very high. The Confederation of African Athletics have also asked certain federations, especially Cote d'Ivoire and Senegal, to rearrange their bronze level competitions so that to make way for this competition. But this competition is also an Olympic qualifier. So the significance of it is very huge. It's not common to see one country or one national federation hosting two international competitions, two Olympic qualifiers in one season. It's not common. It's how you hardly see that. So Ghana, we are very privileged to have that opportunity, and we cannot allow the opportunity to slide by or not to perform to the level that the international community is expecting of us. So the significance of it is huge. They also have confidence in our facility, in our technical ability to hold that program. If they were not satisfied, they will not have even access to host it. This competition was originally supposed to be hosted by Benin. Oh, okay. Yes, it was to host by Benin. But because what they saw what we did and what they knew what Benin can do, they came to us that Ghana, we want you to host the program. We know we can do it, even though time is short. But we will support you with the technical staff to come and help you. That's why they made Fatou Sissoko from Senegal. Okay. He was technical delegate for the African Games. Okay. They are bringing him back with her assistant from Benin called Okri. They are also delegating the technical director of the Confederation of African Athletics from Morocco. He's called Aziz Daouda to also come and support. Oh, okay. So there's so much interest. The significance of it is so huge that it will send Ghana beyond Africa. I can tell you when we went to Bahamas, everybody was shaking us. Ghana, it did very well. The games were very good. The game was very good. So we need to continue with that.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. You've already released a statement on the other one.
That was how I wanted to handle it. Once you've answered it, I don't want to talk about it.